The Galactic Fire Authority has been operating for 600 years. They have suppressed fires on 43 inhabited worlds. They have a success rate of 91%. When they called Earth's wildfires uncontrollable, my crew boss forwarded me the report. I read it twice. Then I called my team together and said, "Pack your bags. We're going to work." The planet was called Wildfire. Population 60 million. Extinction-level fire event across its northern continent. 3 GFA suppression teams had tried. All 3 withdrew, unacceptable risk to personnel. The fire had burned for 11 months, consuming an area the size of Western Europe. 4 million evacuated. Our crew boss Hendricks read the report, looked at our team of 16, and said, "Crown fire with spotting behavior in high wind across variable terrain." I said, "So Thursday?" She said, "Pretty much. We shipped out in 48 hours. The GFA liaison met us at the forward base. Tall, sick-limbed, wearing equipment that cost more than my house. He showed us the fire data, satellite imagery, fuel moisture, wind modeling. Thorough. Also missing about 40% of what you actually need. I asked about soil composition. Not standard data. Fire return intervals. Not available. Night inversion patterns. He said, "You are asking about things our models do not account for." I said, "Yeah, that's why you called us." He said, "Your planet has wildfires your technology cannot suppress either." I said, "Our planet has wildfires that we fight anyway." He didn't have a translation for that. We spent the first day watching. The liaison thought we were preparing. We were, but not the way he meant. Fire has a logic, even when it looks like chaos. Pay attention long enough, and the patterns show through. Wildfire's fire was different in its details, but not its nature. The fuel burned hotter. That explained the crown fire intensity. The terrain funneled wind in ways that looked random but weren't. The night inversions were creating humidity pockets, the fire's natural weak points. None of this was in the GFA models because their models were built for suppression, not understanding. You can't suppress something you don't understand. My crew boss looked at the spread map and started drawing lines. Not where the fire was. Where it was going to be. The liaison thought we had lost our minds. We were proposing to light more fire on a planet already on fire. From outside the logic, backfire looks insane. But fire burns toward oxygen and away from already burned fuel. A correctly placed backfire removes the fuel ahead of the main front and creates a barrier it cannot cross. We had done this on Earth in conditions most agencies called unsuitable. Wildfire was worse. We did it anyway. I was on the line with 11 people in a valley, about to get very loud. Main front 4 miles out, moving at speed. 40-minute window. Everyone nodded. I keyed my radio, lighted. It took 11 days. Not to put the fire out. You don't put out a fire that size. You redirect it. You starve it. You guide it into terrain that limits its spread and hold the lines until it runs out of room. The GFA teams came back on day 4 after the first backfire held. They learned fast, genuinely good, with equipment that made ours look primitive. What they lacked was the knowledge that sometimes you fight fire by letting it go where it wants and making sure it runs out of somewhere to go. On day 11, the main front stalled, reached our burn perimeter with nowhere left to run. The liaison found me at the forward base. We watched the maps update, red shrinking back from our lines. He said 91% success rate. The 9% were fires like this. How did you know what to do? I said, we have fires like this at home. He said, your technology is far behind ours. Then how? I looked at the maps. 11 days. 4 million people who got to go home. I said, we can't afford to quit. We shipped back 11 days later. The GFA gave us a commendation I still haven't framed. No wall feels right for it. The liaison shook my hand at departure. Different grip, clear intent. He said, the council will want a consultation arrangement. I said, send the paperwork to our union. He actually laughed. First time I'd heard that. On the transport home, my crew boss fell asleep and I sat in the dark watching the stars. 43 worlds. The 9% they hadn't saved. The fires at home, the ones we lose, the ones we don't, the ones that take more than houses. What it means to run toward something your body says to run from, because someone has to. My radio crackled. Old habit, I'd left it on. Nothing but static. I left it on anyway. Just in case someone needed us. If this one hit different, subscribe. We post a new story every single day, and you do not want to miss what is coming next. And I want to hear from you. Drop your story idea in the comments. A job, a situation, a what if, just a sentence or two. We read every single one, and your idea might be the next video.